Day number 3, November, men's mental health. It's Sunday afternoon. It's about to storm. It's getting pretty dark. It's getting thundery in the background. The thing I want to start with today, if you're left thinking that everything's pretty dark and gloomy, kind of like it is today, you ever thought about the fact that you could be the light? Even in your own dark times, you could very well be not only your own light, but the light to somebody around you. And I think that's pretty pivotal to think about, because kind of like I spoke about in the last video, you never know who you're dealing with or what's going on in somebody's life until you just simply ask a question. I think we spend too much time in a darkened state of mind, battling the depression, battling the anxiety, when really, in order to overcome those fears, the biggest fight you have to fight is fighting yourself. And that's terrifying, knowing that you are the key to your own mental stability, in a sense. If you think about it, it's pretty daunting when you get stuck in your own mind and you live there day to day, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper until the ultimate demise takes place, and that permanent solution to a temporary problem sets in. How do we understand that we're the light? How do we find the light? How do others around us see the light, but we can't see it in ourselves? I know personally it's a pretty daunting idea to think that at the end of my tightrope, so to speak, is me standing there staring myself in the face, telling me that I essentially failed myself, when I haven't. I'm not at all there. But it's terrifying that knowing that when you get to the end of that battle with yourself, you got to fight yourself. Believing in what we do today, there's not a whole lot of people out there that truly put their faith in God. But when you put your faith in God and allow Him to control where you're supposed to be, even though it seems hard, it seems helpless, we tend to put that defense up and really fight it, fight His guidance and wisdom, and put ourselves in a place that we think we can control our own destiny, and that's not at all true. But one of the positions we get put in is a position of fighting your own inner demon, and that inner demon is yourself. So amidst the dark times, how do we shed light? How do we find the light? How do we unhinge that light to make it shine upon others in a way that not only we get a little bit of clarity for ourselves, but then we can start to realize how well we're going to affect others, and how well we're willing to help. Because truthfully, the people that struggle with it the most are the ones that can help the best. But the ones that struggle with it the most and help the best put all their effort and time and wisdom and help into those that need to be helped, leaving them dry. So turn on the people that help you and guide you and lean you in the right direction, to make sure that at the end of the day, they're good too. It's like those superheroes you see in those movies where, it's super dramatic and filled with all this crazy stuff at the end of the movie, and their last ditch effort to save that person is to use every ounce of their power, knowing that they might have to sacrifice themselves to keep somebody else alive or save somebody else. But at the end of the day, I think there's a median there where we do that. We fight, we dig, we push for some kind of guidance and success in somebody else's lives, leaving us on the side of the road, struggling to stay alive, struggling with our own inner thoughts. And I think that's a crazy thing to think about. It's a dark time that we live in. It's a dark world that surrounds us. It's full of people that only want to belittle you for any good deed that you want to do. You have social media that constantly beats down on people just for being who they are and what they want to do. You have social media that teaches you to be fake, and that fake aspect of life brings out a demon inside of you that once you're on camera and everything looks all great, as soon as that camera goes off, you slump back down to that deep state of whatever you may call it. We struggle to fit in, we struggle to be successful, but at the end of the day, what's the mindset look like? Are you hungry? Or are you being lazy? Are you impacted by others around you? Or are you faking it? I think as a community, especially with the focus that we have right now, the focus should be on helping one another to succeed, because not only does it show a little bit of self-motivation from somebody like you, but it also shows motivation from somebody like me who's, like I said earlier in the series, stepping out on that skinny branch. This is very uncomfortable to sit here for me and think of, what if I say something wrong? What if I don't reach the people that I'm trying to reach? What if I don't make an impact to somebody in the way that I want it to? But ultimately, at the end of the day, I know for a fact it's going to hit somebody in a way that needed to be helped. And even though I'm not super comfortable with it, I don't like thinking about the fact that there are millions of cell phones across the world that could be opening this video and listening to my message and thinking that I'm probably rambling on. I don't know what I'm talking about. Nobody knows what they're dealing with. I don't know what state of mind you're in. The battles aren't really that bad. But again, that's that negativity speaking on my side. The artist sees all the flaws in their artwork, when we from the outside looking in see nothing but beauty. I think we should have that same mindset. We should be proud with what we're doing and how we're helping people. I should be proud about what I'm hunting for as far as a gateway to know that people are freaking out there to help. Again, it's called Reach Out, bro. And it's called that for a reason. I want to help. I want to be there. I want to show a community of people that want to be there. So as this thing grows into something way beyond my control, hopefully that's what it turns into. I'm not looking for power. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for millions and millions and millions of views. If it hits 3 or 4 people today, that's 3 or 4 people that could be potentially impacted in a positive way, that decide to put down those pills, get out of that mental state of depression, put the gun back in the safe. And that's serious when you think about it. That's serious when you think about those terms and conditions that create our crazy, crazy minds. So do me a favor, and I'll mention what I mentioned in my last video. Reach out to somebody today. Take that step. Remember that the only person that could potentially be the light in your darkest times could be you. But also, if you overcome that objection and get outside of that box and you realize that things are starting to look a little bit better than they were before, do your own self a favor and go talk to the next person. I would thoroughly challenge anybody and everybody that ever watches this video, from the time that it's produced to years and years from now. If this hits your iPhone or your Android or your computer or your Facebook or your Instagram or TikTok or whatever, if it hits some kind of social media and you know that somebody needs it, share it. Because maybe that person knows somebody that needs it and they'll share it. And that trickle effect goes a long way. All I want to do is help. The statistics are scary. The world we live in is hard. Something like 800,000 people die from suicide. And imagine that number just getting smaller and smaller and smaller as the years go on, because somebody across the world that doesn't even know you, that doesn't understand what you're going through, that doesn't understand who you are, who your family and friends are, what kind of relationship you're in, what your wealth status is, what your social media status is. Somebody wants to know your worth more than you do. And sometimes we can see your worth more than you can. But you also can find your own self-worth. It's just depending on how hard you want to fight your own self for the answers.